Hi all, welcome to my session. Today's topic is glass transition temperature of polymers. What do you mean by glass transition temperature of polymers? Before that, let's see what happens if an ordinary rubber ball is cooled below minus 70 degree Celsius. We know that rubber is a amorphous polymer, that is, it is not crystalline. So, if we cooled the rubber ball below minus 70 degrees Celsius, it becomes so hard and brittle that it will break into pieces like a glass. Why does a rubber ball becomes like glass below minus 70 degrees Celsius? This is because there is a temperature boundary for almost all amorphous polymers, only below which it becomes hard, brittle and glassy. This temperature below which a polymer is hard and above which it is soft is called the glass transition temperature. The hard brittle state is known as the glassy state and the soft flexible state as the rubbery or viscoelastic state. On further heating, the polymer becomes a highly viscous liquid and starts flowing. This state is termed as viscofluid state. The transition takes place at this flow temperature TF. That is, at TF, at flow temperature, the polymer transition from solid to liquid takes place. Schematically, it can be represented like this. Below Tg, the polymer is hard and brittle, that is the glassy state, and above this Tg, it is rubbery or viscoelastic state, and at TF or above TF, the polymer starts flowing, that is called the viscofluid state. Now let us see why polymers possess Tg unlike low molecular weight compounds. Low molecular weight compounds can exist in three states of aggregates such as solid, liquid and gas. But polymers exist only as solid or liquid but never as a gas, as they decompose before reaching their boiling points. Now consider a crystalline low molecular weight solid. The molecules occupy definite position within the crystal lattice, and this arrangement is repeated in all the three dimensions of the crystal to give rise to the long range order. Crystalline solids also have the ability of transferring external stress. If we increase the temperature, more kinetic energy is added to the system and the molecules start vibrating vigorously. At higher temperature, the molecule starts moving out of their fixed positions and the long range order is lost. The system can no longer transfer the stress and it starts flowing. That is, the liquid state is reached. So that temperature at which the change of state, that is from solid to liquid, occurs is called the melting point. That is this is the case of low molecular weight substances. Now let's consider the case of polymers. At room temperature, polymers are solid. At low temperature, the polymers also behave like low molecular weight compounds. But what is the difference between a low molecular weight compound and a polymer at higher temperature? So, for a low molecular weight substance, there is a definite temperature below which the molecules do not move and above which they do move. That is at their melting point. But when we increase the temperature The polymer, on the other hand, there is some localized motion of chain segments within the long chain molecule, that is their mobility first activated before the whole molecule starts moving. In some parts within the molecule there is a considerable localized motion, but not in other part of the same molecule. That is, within the long chain of the polymer molecule, some segments have a certain freedom of movement, whereas others do not. The molecule as a whole does not move, although some of its segments moves. This situation is similar to that of a nailed snake which can wriggle violently but is not able to move ever. That is, നമ്മളൊരു പാമ്പിനെ ആണി തറച്ച് വെക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ അതിങ്ങനെ പൊളഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കും, പക്ഷെ അതിന് മൂവ് ചെയ്ത് പോകാൻ പറ്റില്ല. അപ്പോൾ അങ്ങനെ ഒരു അവസ്ഥയായിരിക്കും ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ ഇൻക്രീസ് ചെയ്താൽ പോളിമേഴ്സിന് ഉണ്ടാവുക. സോ അറ്റ് ദിസ് സ്റ്റേജ് പോളിമർ ക്യാൻ ഹാവ് ടു ടൈപ്സ് ഓഫ് മോഷൻസ്. That is the localized mobility of the segments called segmental motion, and the total mobility of the molecule as a whole called molecular motion. That is, polymers can have two types of Brownian movements, that is the internal or micro Brownian movements, IBM, describing the segmental motion, and second one is the external or macro Brownian movement, EBM, describing the molecular motion. So when we increase the temperature, first IBM is activated, then at very high temperature the EBM also activated. At high temperature, when both Brownian movements are activated, the individual polymer chains start moving apart and there will be a flow of material instead of stress transfer. This state, so we can say that in the case of polymers there is an intermediate stage where the localized mobility is activated, but the overall mobility is not. The local segments where mobility is already activated correspond to the liquid state, while the molecule as a whole where mobility is forbidden is in the solid state. This state, which is really a combination of liquid and solid, is called the rubbery state. Therefore, in the rubbery state, the polymer materials exist as liquid with superimposed solid at fixed points, or as a solid with localized segments of a liquid nature. Therefore, under the influence of an applied stress, it exhibits the properties of a viscous fluid as well as that of an elastic solid, and undergoes viscoelastic deformation. Now let's consider the phase changes occurs in polymer molecules. This is a part of a system separated from other parts of the same system by an interface. A crystalline phase state is characterized by the existence of a well-defined long-range order in all three dimensions. The liquid phase is characterized by the absence of any long-range order. Consider the liquid state where molecular mobility is frozen. Hence, the substance exists as physical solid, but as it does not possess any long-range order, it is unable to crystallize. Such solids which are unable to crystallize are called amorphous solids. Since soda glass is a typical example of amorphous solid, the amorphous solid state is termed as the glassy state. The glassy solid is considered to be a supercooled liquid only. The transition from a molten liquid to the glassy solid involves only a physical change and no phase change. Consider polymer substances. A polymer can be either amorphous or crystalline. An amorphous polymer can exist in the glassy, rubbery or liquid states. Below the glass transition temperature, it exists as a glassy solid, and above Tg it exists in the rubbery state. On further heating, the floor temperature is reached where the rubbery state completely gets transformed to liquid state. A polymer capable of exhibiting long range order is called a crystalline polymer. At low temperature, when molecular mobility is arrested, it exists in the crystalline solid state. The segments in a crystalline polymer are firmly held in the crystal lattice by intermolecular forces and hence don't exhibit segmental mobility even at high temperature. The crystalline polymer doesn't pass from solid state to rubbery state and doesn't possess any Tg. So crystalline polymers have or it does not possess Tg. At high temperature, the polymer directly passes from crystalline state to the liquid state at a temperature called the melting point. Just like low molecular weight compounds. But most of the polymers are neither fully crystalline nor completely amorphous. They consist of both amorphous and crystalline regions. Partially crystalline polymers therefore possess both the Tg and Tm, that is glass transition temperature and also the melting point. This figure represents the transition of states associated with low molecular weight compounds and polymeric materials. Now here is the difference between the glass transition temperature and the melting point or melting temperature. At Tg, the chain in amorphous regions of the polymer gain enough thermal energy to begin sliding past one another. But the temperature where inter-chain movement occurs is called the melting point and is always greater than Tg. The glass transition temperature is a property of the amorphous region while melting point is the property of crystalline region. Below Tg, the segmental motion is frozen and above Tg, the segmental motion is activated. The more immobile the chain, the higher will be the value of Tg. While below Tm, that is below melting point, the polymer is crystalline solid and above Tm, it is a disordered melt. Now let's see what are the factors influencing the glass transition temperature. The glass transition temperature depends upon the parameters such as the size and geometry of the polymeric chain, flexibility of the chain segments and the type of molecular aggregates formed. First factor is the molecular weight. Tg is directly proportional to the molecular weight of the polymer. That is, Tg values will be lower for low molecular weight polymer. It is because a low molecular weight polymer has more chain end segments which are mobile. A high molecular weight polymer has lesser number of mobile end chain segments. The molecule having the cross links exhibit high Tg values. It is because cross link decreases the mobility of the molecular chains segments. Tg values can be reduced by adding plasticizers because plasticizer weaken the intermolecular forces between the polymer chains. Next is the flexibility of the chain segments. The flexibility is determined by the degree of freedom with which different segments along the chain backbone can rotate around the covalent bonds. Linear planar chains with CC, COO or CN single bonds have high degree of freedom for rotation. The presence of aromatic or cyclic structure in the chain backbone or bulky side groups attached to the planar backbone hinders the freedom for rotation. Such polymers will be associated with a higher Tg. that is Tg is inversely proportional to the flexibility. For example, the presence of aromatic rings in the chain backbone of polyethylene terephthalate increases the rigidity of the chain and Tg value is high. Another example is the higher Tg value for the derivatives of cellulose is attributed to the rigid structures in the macromolecular chain. Next factor is the intermolecular forces. Tg is directly proportional to the intermolecular forces. The magnitude of molecular aggregation is determined by intermolecular forces. In the case of hydrocarbon polymers, only van der Waals force of attraction acts on neighboring chains. Polymer chains containing polar groups are held together more strongly by dipoles and intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Hence, they possess high Tg. For example, polythene has a glass transition temperature of minus 125 degrees Celsius. Nylon 6 has a Tg of 50 degrees Celsius because of presence of large number of polar groups which lead to intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Also, if molecular geometry permits the formation of a definite molecular orientation leading to a long-range 3D order, the polymer has a greater crystallizability. That is, highly crystalline polymers possessing a regular chain geometry show a high Tg. Therefore, isotactic polymers possess very high Tg. Now let's see what is the importance of glass transition temperature. Tg is an important parameter of a polymeric material. Tg is a measure to evaluate the flexibility of a polymer and the type of response the polymeric material would exhibit to mechanical stress. Then the Tg value decides whether a polymer at a given temperature will behave like rubber or plastic. The Tg value along with Tm gives an indication of the temperature region at which a polymeric material transforms from rigid solid to soft viscous state. This helps in choosing the right processing temperature. That is the temperature region in which the material can be converted into finished products through different processing techniques such as molding, extrusion, etc.